Do you accept that view of the matter, Brian Walden?
Oh, I don't, as a matter of fact. I think we do face economic difficulties in the next 2 years, yes. But I don't think that you can put it in terms of whether it will modify Labour policies or not. Labour's pledged to the manifesto, but what really counts are the tensions within the Cabinet. What the Cabinet decides is what the party wants.
Well, let me put this blunt question to you, Mr. Walden, whether, in view of the fact that nearly 60% of the people will not have voted Labour, can you say that the people of Britain, to coin a phrase, have given their full-hearted consent to a massive extension of public ownership?
Well, they read the Labour manifesto, or they read versions of it, which were even less favourable from that point of view. Labour has won the election. You're a great supporter, as I am, Robin, of the parliamentary system and the first past the post.
Yes, but you see, you're talking one thing on the common market. You say we've got to get the referendum and Parliament can't have a decision, and then when it suits you, you say, oh, well, it's seats in Parliament that matters. That's the way we run our democracy.
No.
You better make up your mind.
No, I don't think the Labour Party said that. I think it said that because the common market was a unique constitutional issue, we should do what all the other countries that are in it have done and have a referendum. And we will have a referendum, yes.
John Davis?
Well, I think that the referendum is yet to be seen, to my way of thinking. I've always thought, in fact, that it's a smokescreen. I mean, the truth is the Labour Party would find it very hard to fight a general election on a common market issue because they simply could not get a common purpose.
Do you agree with Mr. Mellish when he says we really can't have another, whatever happens, we can't have another general election for 3 or 4 years?
I think that's exaggerating. I should have thought that anybody who tried to put the British electorate to the test again in 12 months is going to get a fairly spiteful response. Anybody. But I think that's about my view, that it's surprising the recuperative capacity of this electorate, and I should have thought that if it's disappointed with the Labour government, as I think it will be, then in fact it will be ready for the fray again in 12 months' time and give them a good sock in the nose.
Bob Mellish?
Well, the one thing that emerges from what John Davis said is this. I do find it ironic. On the one hand, politicians have said, oh, well, they're all frauds. They come up with manifestos, and then, of course, they don't take any notice of that, and they just go sailing on doing what they like. We have said, from February, we have certain policies, we are determined to implement them. Now I'm told, oh, no, that's not right. You're saying it, Robin, as a matter of fact. Somehow we've got to start compromising before we even get office.
No, I was asking the question.
Oh, were you? Sorry, you fooled me. I thought you were saying this is what's got to be done.
I was putting it to them, giving them an opportunity to comment, as you can have now.
Oh, yes, you do it very well, Robin. No, but seriously, I must say that I find that Labour's determination to carry out its manifesto is to the credit of the Labour Party. This is the one thing that made my job as Chief Whip in the last 7 months in the minority government livable, because throughout the whole ranks of the Labour Party in the House of Commons was the understanding we were doing our very best to carry out that which we did in February, and I think it was our strength in this election.
But now, do you think that the people of Britain, by this election, they've said no to Ted Heath, it appears, they've given Harold Wilson a bigger mandate, but have they given their full-hearted consent to socialism?
Yes, to the extent that that which was contained in the manifesto, I agree with Brian Walden. We've not pulled any punches on this. I think it's been grossly overstated, some of the arguments about what was in the manifesto. For example, state ownership. The people who were shouting and raving about this, in fact, they couldn't have read our Partnership in Industry pamphlet. We have said in that certain basic industries, of course, we intend to state-owned, but for the rest there will be a genuine partnership in industry, and I'd like to get this over to this morning. I think it's terribly important that a Labour government coming into power must deal immediately with the liquidity problem of industry.
Cash.
I think it must, at a very early stage, convey to private enterprise that we are willing and desperately anxious to cooperate with them. The best of private industry knows that state cooperation is essential, whatever government is in power, state cooperation. And I think the way in which this will emerge will be to see that, in fact, there is a much better understanding, and I think confidence has to be restored.
One final brief question. Yeah. Do you think that the translation of Mr. Benn to another post would help confidence and cooperation in industry?
I think Mr. Benn is an extremely able minister and will do the job for which he will be appointed, which is, I think, the Ministry of Trade and Industry.
I just want to give Mr. John Davis, in fairness, an opportunity to comment on the last part of what Mr. Mellish has been saying.
I think certainly, reverting to what I said earlier, that the disappearance of Mr. Benn from the Ministry of Industry would have a really tonic effect on international confidence.
Well, thank you, Mr. Davis and Brian Walden and Bob Mellish, and But Brian Walden, I'd just like to put one thing to you. You were offered a job last time by Mr. Wilson. I believe you turned it down.
That's right.
Now, supposing he were reshuffling his cabinet because Mr. Mellish is going on strike and doesn't want to be chief whip anymore, would you like a job in that? Would you accept a job this time? Because you're a very able parliamentarian, if I may humbly say so.
It's very nice of you to say so, Robin, yes. But that's a hypothetical question. And
well, all questions are hypothetical.
No, some are real, and I find it difficult enough to answer the real one.
How about chief whip? There's going to be a vacancy there, I think.
I wouldn't take that job under any consideration. I hope Bob Mellish isn't going to be removed. I hope Harold is watching the programme, and my advice is keep him there, Harold. He deserves it.
I wonder if could we get Mr. Wilson anywhere just to comment on it? Anyway, thank you, Mr. Davis, Brian Walden, Bob Mellish.
Thank you very much.
And Mr. Wilson, of course, will be